Welcome to the Crunch Time YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about the Philadelphia Eagles and the struggles they've been having this season. So let's get right into the video. The Eagles have not been great this year. Despite them having the division lead right now, that doesn't mean anything. They've underperformed on almost everyone's expectations, and even if they are first place in the division right now, they probably are playing like the worst team. From the offense to the defense, there's very few bright spots right now. If you had told me that Carson Wentz was going to be healthy through 10 games and that they would be 6-1, I would not have believed you. The Eagles look like they had a lot of promise, but it's just not been working out. So today, I want to specifically look at the quarterback position and discuss should the Eagles start Jalen Hurts. So we all know Carson Wentz is having the worst year of his career by far. You can look at completion percentage, interception to touchdown to interception ratio, like accuracy downfield, all of those metrics. He's not been doing great. He's under pressure, not going through his reads like he should, throwing it into double and triple coverage, just not playing like how franchise quarterbacks should be playing. And this has led many to argue, should the Eagles start Jalen Hurts Monday against the Seattle Seahawks? My take on this is no, and that doesn't have as much to do with Jalen Hurts, but just to do with Carson Wentz. While Carson Wentz has been basically terrible this season, I just don't know what adding a rookie who had a lot of work to be done on him to become like a pro-level NFL starter. I just don't think he'll be better than Carson Wentz, because as bad as Wentz has been, the supporting cast around him is still not great. There is not really a receiver or tight end or any weapon who you can fully trust, and this team has gone through a lot of injuries. Like, look at the amount of sacks that Wentz has taken. He's taken 40 sacks in 10 games. That's an average of 4 sacks a game. That is way too much for any quarterback. That pace, he'll have like 64 sacks by the end of the year. Some quarterbacks right now, like I think Aaron Rodgers, he might have like 15 or so. It's crazy how he's just been always under pressure, and that's a big portion of the issues with him. And I don't think a rookie quarterback is going to do better in that situation, just because rookies normally don't do great under pressure in their first few years, in literal pressure and figurative pressure. And secondly, I just want to talk about the receiving core around him. It's dreadful. Their number one receiver right now is, I believe, Alshon Jeffrey. Or technically it's Jeffrey or Fulgham. I'm not sure which one who they call their number one right now. Yeah, Fulgham's been good, but outside of him, and maybe Dallas Goedert, who's really been consistent. Sanders has been in and out of the lineup. You can say the same with Goedert too. Ertz has been terrible this year. Probably the most disappointing season for any tight end, who's failed almost all expectations. He's probably not getting an extension from the Eagles this offseason. So he's underperformed greatly. Deshaun Jackson, he's been battling injury. Jalen Reagor, he's looking all right, but he's played for a very small portion of the year. So there's just too much movement in and out. And I also think Doug Peterson has to get fired this season at the end of the year. He is just doing a terrible job. He's had some of the worst coach games in the season by far. It's just unacceptable. For a team that has this much talent and had high expectations, they're supposed to be like a double-digit win team. I thought they would be a 10-6 team, and they already have, they already have 6 losses. They're 3-6-1. It's just too much stuff is going wrong for the Eagles, but they have to do some changes. Some of them can be done now, and some of them have to be done in the offseason. This team has major issues that are going to have to be addressed in the offseason. The biggest issue is going to be the quarterback position. They drafted Jalen Hurts in the second round. Many thought it was a reach, and it was an over selection. They took him way too early, and it's like, why would you take a backup quarterback out early? Maybe they saw signs that Carson Wentz was not going to do that great. So, are they going to trade him? Like, I could see Carson Wentz getting traded to the team. Maybe the Colts could trade for him. I'm pretty sure, like, Max Kellerman suggested that. Maybe even, like, somehow the Bears or something. Maybe the Saints. There's just very few teams that could take on, like, a Carson Wentz contract, and very few teams that would even want him. Like, you can't argue, really, that Carson Wentz has played better than Daniel Jones. He's not played better than, like, Andy Dalton, Alex Smith, maybe even Dwayne Haskins. He's just underperformed so much. It's very disappointing. Like, he has 14 interceptions. The next highest amount is 11. That's 3 whole more interceptions. He has 14 touchdowns, which is not ranked that high. That's ranked 19th. That's below, like, Drew Brees, who's missed a lot of time. Kyler Murray, who we all know runs a lot. And even Lamar Jackson and Baker Mayfield, 2 of the most hated players in the NFL. Lamar, because his throwing isn't as great. And then Baker is just is a pretty overrated player. Like, Dak Prescott has 9 touchdown passes. He has played basically 4.5 games. Carson Wentz has played 10. And Carson Wentz only has 5 more touchdown passes. And if you look at passing yards, Carson Wentz has less than 500 more passing yards than Dak Prescott. And Prescott played 4.5 games. So, even with all the negatives I've talked about with Carson Wentz, it is probably not beneficial for the team to move on to a rookie quarterback. Because even with how terrible they've been, they still are first in their division. They could easily win the division. It's not a tough division to win. Easiest division to win in football. So, I would not move on to a quarterback just yet. But if this continues, if the Eagles go for like 11-1, I'm moving on from Carson Wentz. It's not looking great right now, and I think Eagles fans should be worried. So, thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe and leave a like. Have a great day.